I'm here. So I'm not going to bore you guys with some of the menial tasks that I've got to do right when I get here, but I do want to show you what everything kind of looks like before I start. So the porch is a mess. The tables need to be cleaned. But more importantly, the potatoes are jamming. The experimental market garden is not a complete fail, but it is lacking for sure. I will show you guys more of that closer once I get some weedy whacking done, and that's the main thing. Right now, the grass is just, it's unreal. You almost can't even see the storm shelter. So I am going to start weedy whacking the front yard. You can see, I don't know if it'll focus. There we go. You can't even see really the blueberries. I'll have to find them with the weedy whacker. But this is what happens when you are back and forth, and it's okay. It's nothing that a weedy whacker and a lawnmower can't fix. And a little bit of time in the sunshine. So I have got my sunscreen on. I've got my bug spray on. And I am going to go out and start working on some of this grass and getting this place cleaned back up so we can get back to work. So just wanted to show you guys. Thank you for sticking with me, and we will get this place whipped up in no time. Well, looks like we have a rabbit problem. You see it? Okay, so I'm going to take a little break here and show you what has gotten done. It is a few days later. We have had some very wonderful, special people come up and help us out a little bit around here and do some chainsawing and some organizing and some cleaning. And so the mowing and stuff is kind of about halfway done. The mower had to go to the doctor and had to get a new belt, and so she is back up and running and ready to go. And the weedy whacking, just, it takes a while, and we're kind of burning and weedy whacking, and I've been kind of dispersed to different projects around the property while we had people here just kind of helping in different areas and bouncing around. And so it's not exactly the organized way of doing things that I like, but I am so blessed and so thankful to have had help up here that it doesn't matter to me at all. I'm super excited to show you guys what we got done and to show you about where we're at right now, and then take you along with me as I do some more menial tasks. So come on, let's go work. Okay, so super bright this morning. There's Ruby sitting there waiting for me to get back on her and get back to work, but I've got another task that I want to get finished first. And so I'm just going to show you real quick some of the things that we've got done. We've got some hugelkultur happening in the raised beds. We've got the front all mowed and mostly weedy whacked. Little interesting tidbit here. Without being on a drip system or a water system, it is just too hot to garden here in containers that are small for all of the herbs that we planted. Nothing came up. They're too dry, and the soil that was in there was pretty mulchy, so they just dried out too fast. It was not moist enough for the seeds to germinate, and that's okay. It was an experiment. They're full of brand new soil. I can top them off with some compost, and you know, when I get here full time, I can start seeding them again. They're all ready to go. So the garage is looking amazing. So here is my corner. All of my garden stuff is all on that shelf. This corner is all cleaned out. Don't mind these tubs. The countertop's coming along. This corner is coming along with organization of all of the tons and tons and tons of electrical stuff that was left here by the old owners, getting it divided out and easy to access. So that's really cool. So we got some cleaning done there. The orchard is all mowed but not weedy whacked yet, and so that is good. I'm just going to do a little walk around here so you can see how big and beautiful the fruit trees are getting. I do need to weedy whack around them and add some more mulch. I've been doing about a bag of mulch a tree, and it's just not even covering the keeping the weeds from growing up. I am noticing a lot of very interesting things about this yard. As far as there is milk thistle and there is wild onions growing in here, which tells me that the soil is really poor. So I'm making sure that I'm keeping up on my fertilizing. The backyard garden is not jamming, but I'd say 50% jamming. We've got some beans. I've got one artichoke coming up. All of my lettuce that came up bolted promptly, which I expected. The tomatoes are jamming. I had my first tomato yesterday. Selfishly, I didn't share that with you. I'm sorry, but I did share it with Mr. Wonderful, which was totally worth it. The onions, the gladiolas, are looking fabulous. My peppers are a little yellow, so I'm afraid that they are nitrogen deficient. So I am going to fertilize them one of these cool evenings before a rain, and see if I can't perk them back up. I was kind of expecting that because I put down this fresh bark mulch, tree mulch, that I got for free from an arborist, and so I was expecting that a little bit because the fresh stuff will leach the nitrogen out of your soil. But it's just such a good weed suppressor that I thought, you know what, it's worth it. So I'll add some nitrogen to those guys, try to help them along. But there is peppers, so we will see that on the garden tour when I get everything all cleaned up here. But we are looking really good on the fruit trees. The front is looking good. I've got weedy whacked. Yeehaw, squirrels are having a great time. And I have been spending quite a bit of time weedy whacking out next to the road because the road was, you know, super tall in grass. But we've got all the way around the house weedy whacked and cleaned up. American flag is fixed, where it should be. potatoes. The driveway looking mucho better. And we have wild daylilies down at the end that I'll show you guys later. The garden is being watered on a daily basis now and looking a little better. And back to the grass we go. So take you guys on a little stroll down here. See, this is what I'm working on at the moment. The big oak tree has been, for the most part, all sawed up, and I'm getting that all cleaned up and loaded in the trailer to take over to the raised bed garden. And it's just kind of tedious work, and I'm trying to, you know, take it easy and have fun while I'm doing it too. So that's the key when you've got such a big farm and a big task. The key is to take your time, don't break your back, quite literally in some of our cases, and try to enjoy yourself and enjoy the nature around you. And here's our burn pile, which is mostly green stuff now. We've burnt most of the dead stuff, so it's just kind of drying out there. And then, the pine tree. The pine tree that was down is all but gone. Just the big, heavy, wet stumps are left, and the trunk that we believe is salvageable and millable. We're gonna let it dry there and then let Mr. Wonderful do with it what he wants. So super exciting. I'm excited to see this place cleaned up, and I don't know what it is about having down trees, but it just looks really messy to me, and so I'm excited to have those taken care of. But I'm going to get back to work, and I'm going to take you guys with me. I'll let you hang out with me while I work on these chores and tasks today. I have finally gotten calmed down enough and am alone again, so it's easy to bring you guys out and hang out with me. So I will try to bring you along as much as I can from now on while we continue to do these beautiful, wonderful farm tasks that we are so incredibly blessed to be able to do. And FYI, I am not a complete weenie, but this wood is very wet and it is white oak. It's very heavy. You guys, what are you doing down there? Stay with me. Okay, so we have gotten the raised beds all full with limbs and logs and all the stuff that came off of those 2 trees, really. And again, the lumber that's sitting on top of the raised beds is there for support because they are or have been hollow, and that causes them to the wind catches them easily, and Mr. Wonderful worked very hard on these, and so we use them as extra weight to hold them down. So there's some of them that are like this board here. You can see that it's sitting parallel with the raised bed, and I will move all of those. We've got storms coming in tomorrow morning, so I'm gonna go ahead and get all of these spaced out evenly across the raised bed. They are pretty full now, but we still want to protect them until they are full of dirt. So I believe it's time for me to start buying dirt, which dirt is gold here. So that will be fun. But this is hugelkultur, and I am not an expert on it. I've done some research and some reading. What this will do, one thing I want to keep you in mind, these branches and leaves and stuff, they're all going to shrink down. And so I'm probably going to have 1 foot to 2 feet in some places where of compost before, you know, I'll run into any branches. And what will happen is I will make sure that I put compost in these beds. And the reason for that is all of this carbon is going to suck nitrogen from anything that I put in there in order to start the decomposition process. And until it gets to where it's decomposing, creating heat, it is going to be just leaching nitrogen. So I need to make sure that I put in a really, really good compost in here to make sure that there's enough nitrogen to not only feed my plants, but also to feed the carbon that is decomposing. This will take, with a hardwood, from what I've read, it will take 1 to 2 years for these to go into to where they're really decomposing really well and putting off nitrogen. So this is basically an inexpensive way to fill your beds and not have to fill them with dirt. And here, dirt is, for a dump truck load, dirt is $500 at least. And it would take at least 4 of those to fill this bed up. It's 1,773 bags of soil that you were to purchase at Home Depot or Lowe's or the garden center or what have you. So because soil is so expensive here, I chose to go ahead and try this, knowing that I'm going to need to feed these beds really, really well. And I may have some trial and error with that. I may have a struggle of keeping nitrogen in these beds. However, I feel like I have a benefit having a farm once the animals get here, which I will probably not be planting this bed until the animals get here. I have lots and lots and lots of nitrogen at my disposal in between the rabbits and the lambs and the farm animals. So I'm excited. I'm happy to have gotten these filled. We did not get all of that oak tree gone. We will be burning the rest, but we have to wait for it to dry out. But I wanted to go ahead and show that to you guys. And now me and Miss Ruby right there have a date for the rest of the evening. She has a new belt. She's ready to go. and I have the grass to feed her. So we have a date. So I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Yours truly.